I might say something really smart. So here we go. Welcome back, Alchemist. This is the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Morell, the real estate mentor, and I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. If you're on the call and you're looking to build millionaires as well, throw your hands to the camera if that's why you're here. Excellent. If you're looking to become one of those millionaires, you want to make more money, you want to make more cash this year, you're ready to do it with less work, throw your hands to the camera if that's one of the goals. Excellent. So we do this every single week. There's 52 wealth principles that lead to a person's success. Most people are not aware of these wealth principles. Most people go through life and they just travel through and they think that, okay, by 40, 50, I'm going to be okay. By 60, 70, I'm going to retire. Who was told at some point that retiring at 55 was a decent age to retire? Who's told this? Excellent. Who now believes they should be able to retire in the next 3 to 5 years? Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're in the right place. I'm in the right place. I know I'm hanging with the right people, because anybody who doesn't believe it's possible to retire in 3 to 5 years is wrong. They're believing or living the lie. And we're going to go live on TikTok so that the people on the TikTok don't have to live the lie either. There you go. So wealth principle 48. This is where we're at. We've been traveling through the wealth principles for the last 48 months. I know you said there's 52 and you think we'd start at the beginning of the year. That's not how it works, because every year we shift the wealth principles by 1 week. There's 1 week that we skip, and that is the week of the October 100 Millionaire Summit, which, as many of you know, it is coming up already. In my mind, that summit started the moment the last summit ended. Hands to camera if you were at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year and you met at least 5 millionaires, at least 5. Awesome. Who met 10 millionaires this year at the summit in one room over 3 days? Awesome. Who here got to see at least 15 millionaires on stage? 15 millionaires on stage. Excellent. Who got to shake hands, high five, take a picture with any of those millionaires who were on stage? Who got to take a picture, hand five, or talk to at least 5 of them? Awesome. Fantastic. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're in the right room. So millionaires hang out with other millionaires. Fact number 1. You can't get around this. Millionaires hang with other millionaires. Wealth principle 48 is know thyself. Now, why is this important to know thyself? Has anybody ever tried to do something with a person you didn't understand? Has anybody ever tried to like be at a party or not a party? Let's say you're in a team sport. We'll call it dodgeball. Who remembers like school dodgeball, right? Being picked last, like that nervousness, or being picked first. Maybe some of you were like those excellent athletes. I was not, so I was usually picked like middle to last. It was very embarrassing to me. I always had my head down. Now, dodgeball, I didn't know anybody. When I tried to play the game, and I couldn't tell people what to do. I didn't know their names. They didn't know my name. I was always like a stranger in school, so because I didn't talk to anybody. Who here's ever had that problem? Not communicating with other people meant you didn't have options, right? So, okay, maybe I'm the only one. Shoot. So early on, I didn't really know the importance of communicating with others. And like, if I didn't understand what other people wanted, I couldn't tell them, hey, take the ball or get out of the way or move. Like, I was just shouting commands, kind of like just a mean person. Who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like when people shout commands at you and they don't know who you are? So wealth principle 48 is designed around knowing thyself so that you can understand others. When you know thyself, when you know yourself, you can actually change yourself. Who here knows that personal development is about change? You have to change you. If you're broke and you're not happy in your life, something about you has to change, because you are the common denominator in every one of those scenarios. We agree? Right, we're not in denial here. We all agree that maybe there's something about us that needs to be changed. Awesome. So wealth principle 48 is addressing yourself, like how to get to know yourself a little bit better. And we're going to do it today. We're going to do it in a short period of time. We're going to get to know you at a deep level. You're going to get to know you. And I'm going to show you how to understand others at a deep level so that you can move forward in a powerful way. Who here is excited about knowing thyself better so you can make more money this year? Excellent. Excellent. Now, I want to be very clear. We make more money so we can help more people. True or true? Like that's part of the reasons we make more money. Excellent. We're not just doing it because we want to have a Lambo or Bugatti or we want to have the fancy cars. And if you want those things, and I believe you deserve them, go and get them. But there's going to be some steps that you have to take in order to get there. It's kind of like knowing yourself is kind of like not being able to see a thing, right? Like, who here's noticed that there's a voice inside your head sometimes? Anybody notice a voice inside your head? Like it's kind of like saying things, but you can't see it. Nobody else can see it. Like nobody else understands what's going on inside of there. But the stuff, the turmoil, the energy that's happening inside your head is actively affecting what happens on the outside. My high level of energy gets my hands moving, gets my body moving, gets me talking at a faster rate of speed, right? Because I'm excited. But you can't see that unless I express it through my body. Hence, Karen, if you have a body as well, prove it with the hand, right? There it is. We recognize you got one. Okay. So you physically have this thing, but inside all this magic is happening that other people can't see. They don't understand you. They don't know you. And even sometimes you don't know you. Like who here has felt like, why did I do that? Like, oh my God, self-sabotage. Like I didn't wake up on time. Like I was supposed to do things. Hence, Karen, if you've like messed up your life and then look back and be like, why did I do that? Like I know better. I'm smarter than this. The reason is because we haven't taken the time to know thyself. Who's heard as within, so without, right? What happens within kind of happens on the outside. Who you are on the inside attracts who you want to be. So if you're not with the people you want to be with, maybe it's you who's got to change. Again, you are the common denominator, all the problems in your life, but you're also benefit the common denominator in all the good things that happen to you. So the good things that are occurring in your life, you are the cause as well. You're responsible for the money you're making. You're responsible for that great shape you're in. You're responsible for the amazing friends you have, the spouse you have, and the business you have. Now, if you're not happy with any one of those, you're also obviously the fault. So how do we know ourselves at a deep level? In fact, before we get into like how, let me just one more time say that there are things that you can't see that are real, like electricity, right? If you look at your hair and you put it inside of an electric socket, you are going to get zapped and it's gonna hurt, right? Who's done this before? I remember doing this as a child. I learned the hard way. Put my fingers inside the socket, thought it was gonna be cool. It was not cool. And then I did it again because I couldn't figure out what happened. Thing. A lot of us have done it, right? So this electricity thing, it's deadly, right? It can hurt us, it's deadly. But at the same time, we're all using it to charge our cell phones. Many of you are charging your cell phone right now, right? And we need it to run these magical devices. So we know electricity works. Electricity is in our cars, it's in our houses, it's running all the time, but we cannot see the electricity itself, and yet it's there working. We don't question its existence. True or true? Hence, Karen, if you agree, you don't question whether electricity exists. You're still paying the bill, right? If it's not real, why pay the electric bill? Right? It clearly exists. It clearly has tangible value to you on some level because you're able to use it in this real world. Your mindset, your thoughts, your energy in your mind is kind of like electricity. Your ideas, your thoughts, the things that you're thinking, your emotions, they're kind of like electricity. They don't quite matter until you apply them to something real, until you decide to put them into the real world. What about this morning? Who here got dressed this morning? We're about to find out who went out late last night and didn't get dressed. All right, so most of you got dressed this morning. Most of you had a change of clothes, right? There's some of you decided to go out and drink and party last night and didn't have to change your clothes. You just partied all the way through the night and showed up here. So not encouraging it, but here's what I'll tell you. The people who made a decision to go to bed on time, to wake up on time, some of you on the West Coast, it's 7 o'clock on your time right now. Let's give our West Coast folks a big round of applause for showing up. Right? I know Vinny Chopra's out there listening to us right now doing his miracle morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, every day. That's why he's a billionaire, though. He's got habits, he's got routines, he's consistent, he knows himself. So we make these changes because something in our mind says, get up, put clothes on, brush your teeth, shower up, go and eat some food. Like our mind has the thoughts before we take the actions. Who's caught this? Caught the thoughts before you took the action? Who here's negotiated with yourself? Maybe it was late last night and you wanted to stay up a little bit later, but you negotiate with yourself. You know what? I got to go to bed. Who here's had that conversation? Right? Because I just look, you got to go to bed, bro. Like, come on, it's time. Come on, let mush, and just one more, right? I'll scroll one more time, and then you get stuck in that YouTube video for the wormhole or TikTok now. Knowing thyself, knowing our weaknesses means we can prevent some of them. It means we can change some of them. If we know for certain, if I open TikTok, who here has the app, has downloaded TikTok? And if you're on TikTok right now, you got the app, I know for sure. So you've downloaded the app, you know, you open it, you're in trouble. Like, you know, the moment that app is open, there goes 15 minutes. Like it's just like you're holding the phone like this, like, I don't know if I should, I know I shouldn't, but and there it is, sucked in the wormhole. And then we're here like consuming. And this is the crazy part. We're laughing, we're having fun. Like I watched a TikTok the other day that made me almost like open the window to my house and just start like laugh so the world could hear me laugh, because I was laughing alone in the house and it was so like loud and it echoed. And I was like, people need to hear how loud I can laugh. This is insane. Because there was a person, a little person, a little baby, a child who is driving this little vehicle with their hands. And like, who's seen these TikTok videos with the kids in like the vehicles with their hands? Like, so it's like a joystick thing, like the lawnmowers, and they're driving. And one of them, and so it's like video of like kids playing around these things. And there's one where this kid fell asleep and their hand is on the joystick and it's just going in circles. And I couldn't stop laughing because the child was passed out, but the car was still running. That's kind of how most of you run through your life, though. Past, like, you see people who are successfully driving, you see people who have no clue what they're doing, and then there's some people who are just like they're falling asleep at the steering wheel. The body's moving, doing things, but like they're not here. They're not making any real decisions for themselves. Who's been caught in what I call drifting? Just drifting in life. Just, like, we know these people, right? And so we've done it, but most of the world is still doing it. Most of the world is not showing up and figuring out who they are. They're not paying attention to what moves them. They're not paying attention to what serves them. They're not paying attention to the skill sets they could acquire today so that tomorrow they wouldn't have to work again. And sometimes today and tomorrow could take years to get to tomorrow to build those assets. I saw a Thurman this morning about that. Right? He said, it's like overnight, man. Like, I did the things that you said to do, like overnight, like success. I had a sale, then I had another sale. And it's like, well, Thurman, didn't you spend the last 6 months building yourself to that point? Didn't you spend the last 6 months building your program, getting yourself to the point where your products were available for people, where you felt confident around what you were doing? Like, it wasn't necessarily an overnight success, my friend. And it wasn't just the conversation you had with me that got you to go and take the action. You had to come to terms with your financial situation as well. You had to get to the point where it was bad enough, where you were finally motivated enough to go and make a change. Hence, Karen, if you are motivated to make a change, if we're ready to rock. So we're going to talk about something very special. I talked to Vinny this week on Thursday, the Abundance Thursdays, and I asked him about behavioral tests, because I was talking about knowing thyself, like how to know yourself better, how to like figure out like how to motivate yourself to do the right things, so you take the right actions, so you can either have the body, the money, or the relationship that you're looking for. Who would like a better relationship with their spouse? Anybody? You already got the perfect relationship, right? No, if you want a better relationship with your spouse, you got to know thyself, right? Who would like to make more money this year? Like 100, like 6 figures. Who wants 6 figures? Okay. Who wants 7 figures? Who's going for the 7 this year? Hell yeah. Give yourselves a round of applause. I like those numbers. What about my 8-figure earners? Who's going for the 8? Excellent. Let's do it. All right. You're going to have to know yourself so you can improve the actions you're taking during the day and the people you're communicating with. There are people, if you want to earn 8 figures, 7 figures, 6 figures, there are people who are 5-figure earners when you communicate with them. When you communicate with somebody who can only ever help you move to 5 figures, you're never going to get to 6 figures. When you communicate to people who will help you get to 6 figures, you're going to get 6 figures. When you communicate to people who are going to help you get to 7, you get to 7. What I mean is there's a certain type of client that pays the amount that your business to make 7 figures makes. So if you want to make $1 million this year, who's interested in $1 million this year? Show of hands. Millie. All right. That's 100 people times $10,000. If you're talking to people who can only pay $1,000, you're never going to get to $1 million. That would mean you have to talk to 1,000 people. That now is a very expensive product to market to. To find 1,000 people is really hard. To find 100 people is very easy. Open your cell phone. Who has more than 100 people in their cell phone? All right. The challenge is many of the people in your cell phone are not the people who are going to get you to your goal. Many of the people in your cell phone are broke. So we got to get rid of them, right? We got to adjust them. What are one of the strategies? I was talking to Vinny this weekend, and he said, you got to understand DISC. He's like, there's a behavioral test, a behavioral idea. Tony Robbins really popularized this back in the early 2000s. He really popularized the strategy of DISC. Now, it's an older product. It's kind of like Myers-Briggs, but simpler. And we use it in sales. Who here knows that they're a salesperson, knows they got to make money? Or if you don't talk to people, like, you're not going to have money. All the money you want is in the hands of other people. We figured that out already early on. Like, there's no more in your house. Like, all the cash that you want, that you're looking for, it's in the hands of other people, right? This 100,000 was in somebody else's hands before I went and I grabbed it. And by grab, I mean, I had a conversation, I added value, and they said, please take this money from you. Hence the camera, if you can add value to other people's lives, excellent. If you can add value, like if you can help them become a millionaire, then you can have income. So DISC is something we use for real estate agents in sales. We primarily, who here's a real estate investor looking to buy real estate, cash flow, multifamily, single family, doing some flips. All right. So we've got our real estate investors on the call. What about my real estate agents? What are my licensed agents, salespeople, hustlers, grinders? All right. So we got a mix. Investors, you need agents hustling for you. So it's very important for you to understand yourself and the type of agent you want to recruit to your business. One of the challenges is most of the agents you recruit will not become successful for you. Most agents will not go and find deals. Most agents will not go and find the money for you. Most agents will not let you talk to their past clients. Most agents are not really interested in helping or working with investors. Who's felt that already? My real estate investors? Who's already felt like most agents are just like, they're all talk, but they're like, yo, it's on MLS. Go take a look. What we're attracting, what we're building are investor-friendly agents who know how to find deals, who know how to raise capital, and know how to do creative financing. Hence, camera, if that makes life a lot easier. So in order to find those people, you got to understand what they look like how they operate, what kind of personalities they are. And then with the right behavioral personality, then you can teach them. But if you teach the wrong people, then they're not going to take any action because, again, asleep at the wheel. It's like the little baby just driving the joystick and sleeping at the wheel. So we're going to go into DISC. Who would like to learn how to learn DISC today? How do I evaluate a human being just by looking at them and asking a couple of questions? So this is how you make money in sales. If you can learn their DISC profile, you can communicate in their DISC style. If you can't identify who they are, then you're going to be taking a random guess as you're communicating. Who's tired of the randomness of life? You want to now know who's going to earn you 6 figures, who's going to earn you 7 figures. All right, let's dive into this. There are 5 reasons for behavioral tests. So here are the 5 benefits for taking behavioral tests. The first one is identifying your own strengths. It's very important to recognize if you come in a certain way, then you should be doing those tasks. But if you don't show up in a different way, don't show up for those tasks. You got to hire that out, find a partner, bring somebody else in. If you're always trying to focus on your weaknesses, guess what? You're going to remain weak in your business. If you focus on your strengths and the strengths of others, you're going to build a strong business. Who here has been told, oh, you got to work on your weaknesses? Anybody been told that? Lies. They are lies. They are lying to you. You can never outwork your weaknesses, but what you can do is surround yourself with people with strengths. And if you that's very easy to do. You try to work on your weaknesses, you're always going to have a weakness. Number 2, leverage your strengths. Identify your strengths so you can leverage them. When you recognize you're a good communicator, you know what you should do? Put yourself in front of more communication opportunities. More opportunities to communicate. If you recognize you're a good tactician, put yourself in a place where you're paid for your tactical work. If you identify that you are a very good caregiver, put yourself in a position where giving that care pays you very well. Hence, if you understand, these are strengths. These are strengths that make a lot of sense. Excellent. If you recognize you're a fun person, right? Put yourself in a position where being fun pays you. A lot of artists, right? All right, number 3, benefits. Areas for improvement. When you identify areas that you can improve, when you identify your strengths, you now know what you should work on. I'm not saying work on your weaknesses. I'm saying work on your strengths. Identify what skill you could acquire to leverage your personality better. I learned communication after recognizing I was very good at getting people's attention. I was not a good communicator. I was a good attention grabber. I loved the idea of shocking the system, like going and seeing what do you want and being like, I got it already. But in order to do that effectively, I had to learn communication. And that costs a lot of money and time to acquire that skill. Hence, if you understand, it's the highest paid skill on the planet. That was the other reason that I started communicating better, because I recognized it pays the best, because all the money that you want is in the hands of other people. So you need relationships. In order to foster relationships, you need to be able to communicate. Number 4 benefit to DISC profiles, like understanding behavioral tests and personality tests, is you understand and can adjust to others. You are not stuck the way you are. Thank God, because if you were, you'd be stuck with whatever your life is right now. Look around your house, look around your kitchen, your living room. That's what you'd have. Fortunately, you can change. You can adjust yourself. And if you're in a situation where you like the person, they do things morally, ethically, and legally, and they're wealthy enough for you to decide, or they want your product, and it's time for you to convince them that you're the right person to work with, then you may have to adjust your language. Who here understands it's okay to adjust your language to somebody else? Then, okay, we're not 100% certain. Check this one out. When I used to work in Fall River, the city was primarily owned by Portuguese, older Portuguese generation people. I didn't speak Portuguese. So when I went into a house, if I didn't speak Portuguese to a Portuguese person, I lost the listing every single time. Every single time I would lose it because I would lose it to the guy who spoke Portuguese. And so what I did, because I am Portuguese by heritage, I went to my father or my grandfather. I said, teach me Portuguese. And they were like, well, that takes a long time. And I said, the only thing I need to know is, hello, I do not speak Portuguese at all, but I want to have a conversation with you because I love your house. I learned those words. I learned casa, how to say casa. I said bonita, right? The beautiful house. And I learned a couple of words and I said, por favor, said, thank you, please, obrigado is thank you. Like I started learning these little words and it made it a lot easier for me to communicate. And then here's what happened. As I was at their properties, they showed me how to communicate with them. They started teaching me Portuguese. Like the sellers of the property started teaching me a little bit more and a little bit more. And I started getting better at listing. And I didn't speak much Portuguese at all in those houses. What I did was for a moment speak their language terribly. But because I spoke their language terribly, they understood I was trying. Hence the camera, if you understand, that's why we shift our language. So even though that was two separate languages, DISC is the same exact thing. It's speaking English in a different way. It's learning English all over again. If I find somebody's analytical, I cannot speak in vague, powerisms like, oh yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. We're going to explode. I have to tactically walk them through the steps on how this is going to effectively work and the process and system behind its effectiveness. Does that make sense? I have to shift my language in a way that could be understood by somebody who's thinking practically and tactically. When I'm speaking to somebody who is really high powered, like they just want ROI and results, I have to let them know what the ROI is, how much time they're going to put in, how much effort they're going to have to put in, and what the return on investment is. Does that make sense? Make it clear to you? So we can adjust. All right, we can adjust. Number 5, you're going to get stronger relationships in your pre-existing relationships. When you understand the DISC of the people you're close to, when you understand the DISC of your business partners or your family or your spouse or your kids, you're going to be able to go deeper in those relationships because you're going to understand them. If you're a fast speaking person and they're a slow speaking person, you're going to have to slow down. And when you do that, they're going to feel like you're listening to them and vice versa. If you're somebody who speaks very slowly and you start speaking a little bit faster for them, they're going to feel like you care. Who's already felt this before with somebody else? Somebody in your life, or like they just, shifted their language for a moment and you're like, oh my God, they're really paying attention to me. They're really coming to my level. They're listening to me. Even though you haven't listened, you've changed how you communicate. You've gone into something called rapport. All right. So there is a book of the week, Tony Robbins book of the week. Is Mitch on the call? Mitch Jorsky is he here? I know Mike Shine isn't here. All right, before we go to the book of the week.
What's up?
Mitch, you want to do the book of the week before I dive into DISC?
If you want to do it that way, we can do it that way.
What do you think? I mean, Hanson can't feel like the book of the week or DISC. I can go with either one. Wait, hold on. Jump into the chat. Jump into the chat. Do you want DISC? Or
Tony Robbins is the one that popularized DISC, so maybe it makes sense to do the book of the week.
Book of the week. I love books.
Let's do the book of the week. All right. So Michael Shine is on a plane back to his tropical home in Roatan on the tropical island of Roatan. He is our holistic attorney. He's the closer. He's the keeper of the books. And he passed the baton today. He said it via our WhatsApp chat. We have a chat called The Three Musketeers between the three guys who run the 100 Millionaires podcast. And Mitch Jorsky was passed the baton to do today's book of the week. So without further ado, Mitch Jorsky, what is this week's book of the week?
It is Awaken the Giant Within from Tony Robbins, which is a classic. I do not have a physical copy because this thing has been out so long that I straight up listened to this thing as an audiobook on CDs. Like literally, I bought CDs at Barnes & Noble like 20 years ago and listened to that thing in my car. Boom, there it is. That's like a rebranded, updated cover too. Got to get with the times, the red and black. What is that, the Grant Cardone move?
That's right.
But yeah, so this book's a classic. It's been around forever. Obviously, everyone knows Tony Robbins, and you kind of know, what he does. And really, this book is that foundation to, like the title says, Awaken the Giant Within. So everyone kind of feels like they got something more inside them in terms of what they're doing in life, and almost frustrating that you're not achieving that more, so to speak. So not only do you get like, tools, practical tools and skills, that you can use, it gets into a lot of the personality stuff, which is what we're talking about today, right? So to know thyself is pretty huge. I actually legit have a friend that has that tattooed on his chest. And it's something I talk about often, because when you're going down the rabbit hole of, like, let's just say investing, right? Especially when you're new, it's like, oh, what do I want to do? Do I want to wholesale? Do I want to, flip? Do I want to, buy and hold rental, all that stuff? You got to know your personality. Like, me personally, I've done a couple flips. Flips aren't my thing because that's just a lot of hustle, a lot of work, and it's just not my jam. Like, I'm all about building, passive income. I like working really hard for a short period of time and then seeing residual effects from that. A flip, yeah, you get that nice payday, but then it's like, shit, I got to go back to work if I want to make any money again, right? Doesn't suit my personality, right? You got to know thyself. I do have friends that flip. They love it. They love the grind. They love, finding that next house that they're going to, make beautiful, and, find the new homeowner and all that good stuff, and make money in the process, win-win. So that's just an example. This theme goes throughout your whole entire life, no matter what you do, between jobs, careers, personal relationships, friends, networks. So the DISC personality profile, which Tony Robbins has really, made popular over the last few decades, is something that we all know Walter uses within Alchemist Nation, and anyone that's, been part of pretty much any program, especially Mastery, has taken the DISC personality profile. So, if you haven't read this book, it's definitely worth the read, because like I said, it's going to give you a lot of tools and tips to help awaken that giant within. And it's going to give you that motivation, because as we all know, like, Tony Robbins is just a motivational motherfucker. Like, he gets you amped up. So, just for those reasons, definitely worth a read. And then it'll kind of give you that launch pad into diving into DISC, and then therefore, knowing thyself better. So with all that said, Walter, tell us about DISC.
Let's give Mitch Jaworski a big round of applause. Mitch is the crypto cat. He wrote the book Scaredy Cat Guide to Knowing What the Heck Bitcoin Is. He also wrote the book Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing. He has that approach of, I want to be very cautious and practical when he invests. And I think he attracts that type of client, that type of investor. Hence, Cam, if you've ever worked with Mitch to look at his Scaredy Cat calculator before, he's really good at evaluating properties, like really good at evaluating deals. And while Mitch was talking about the book, I spilled my water all over my desk. So let's give Mitch a big round of applause for totally covering that while I got my towels and cleaned this up. So Tony Robbins, when he put this book together, I don't know if he was thinking it was gonna have an impact on me, which was gonna have an impact on this entire community. But I remember reading the book and just thinking, like, oh my God, like there's so much about my past that is having an impact on my future and my present, because I'm not paying attention to the stories I'm listening to. I've been telling myself that I'm from the hood, so I'll never be successful because nobody around me is successful, because I grew up broke, because my family's broke, because we don't own any real estate. I'll never own any real estate. Like, I was telling myself all these stories, and like, I didn't realize that I was lying to myself. Here's the other one I didn't realize. I was working from a place of pain and moving away from pain all the time. Like, that was always I had to get into a painful space to be successful. I had to grind hard to be successful. I would tell my partners, even, I'd be like, it's not until like you get my back against the wall that I finally like pop out and the best of me comes out. And it's like, dude, that's a terrible place to work from. Right. Tony, like, kind of in that book, he started making me realize, like, you can actually work towards pleasure. You can work towards joy. You can work towards a better life, a better quality lifestyle. Who here believes they deserve more, believe they deserve a better lifestyle? Absolutely. So I'm going to show you DISC today, because this changed my life as a salesperson, changed my life as a business partner, changed my life as somebody who's able to actually have an impactful relationship. In the past, relationships were not my thing. If you'd read my book, Broke to a Quarter Million, you know I went through a divorce, not because I was listening to other people, but because I wasn't listening to other people, especially the people who are very important. By the way, if you know an agent or a salesperson who would like really benefit from being better at sales, now is the time to text them and send them the link to this call. You have full permission to send this link to anybody right now if they're in sales. And I'm actually going to strongly suggest doing it if you like them. If you like them, if you care about them, if you want them to be successful, this next section is about 10 minutes. I'm going to go through it very quickly, but it is going to be extremely impactful. It is recorded, and you can send them the Facebook link or the YouTube link, or right now we're on TikTok, so you can send them the TikTok link. But send this to somebody who's a real estate agent. Let them know that this training is happening right now, and it's going to be extremely valuable for their personal development in their sales career. For real estate investors, same exact thing. Real estate investors need to be able to evaluate their realtors by their DISC profile. So if you have a realtor friend or a real estate investor friend, send them the link to this call right now, invite them in. That is up to you to decide what kind of person are you. Are you the kind of person who helps other people, or are you the kind of person who takes the knowledge, keeps it to yourself? So I hope that you're the type of person who shares their knowledge and brings other people into this call. So that being said, we're going to dive into DISC behaviors for scaling. This is the same exact training I presented at the 100 Millionaire Summit. I'm presenting it now because I know a lot of people missed it, and I've been asked to present it again because at the 100 Millionaire Summit, you were so excited and focused on playing the game with us that you might have missed a couple of things. Who here would like to review DISC profiles and how to leverage it for finding the right team? Awesome. So DISC, it's made up of 4 quadrants. The top quadrant is extroverted people. These top 2 sections, this top sphere, is for people who are extroverted or outgoing. The bottom sphere are for our introverts. They're also reserved. The side on the right is our people who are people-oriented, and on the left side, they are task-oriented. So you'll see there's 4 letters in DISC. Those 4 letters represent disciplined, dominance, influence, stable, social, and cautious. And each one of them represents a type of person. Now, there can be blends, and we'll talk about blends later on. So first, let's start with the Ds. Ds are dominance-based people. They are control specialists, right? They shape the environment or overcome the opposition to accomplish results. Who here may know a D? Somebody who just grinds through, like doesn't care, like just challenge, just crush it. Yep. Here we go a little deeper into Ds. The D style also is motivated by challenges, right? They appear to be direct. They're very self-assured. They don't like being taken advantage of. Their biggest fear is that somebody's taking advantage of them. So when you're in like a conversation with somebody who is like, oh, don't, like, I feel like you're one-upping them, they will immediately not want to work with you. So you've always got to include a D when you're talking to a D, like somebody who's speaking fast, who's talking about ROI. This is another sign that they're a high D personality, right? They want to know the bottom line. Number 2, influence. And by the way, this is no particular order. I just started top left, moving to the bottom. Influencers. These are communication specialists. They shape the environment by influencing other people. And it is not just like because they have an influencer account on Facebook. This terminology I probably have to change, although because a lot of the influencers on Facebook and TikTok are actually introverts, myself included. So like just because they're very good on social media and they get a lot of attention doesn't actually mean that they're an influencer in the sense of like, you'll know an influencer when you're out, hanging out with people. Who here knows that person who's always talking like bright lifestyle, the party, like they got the bright clothes, they got the jewelry on, like they got that weird hat that stands out. Those are my influencers, right? They're people based. Like they love to party. They love to travel. Like they're the travelers, the vacation havers. They prioritize people and communication. So these people have the most leverage as far as salespeople. Influencers tend to be the best, the greatest salespeople on the planet because they prioritize people and communication. They're motivated by social recognition. So my high eyes, my salespeople, we focus on letting them know I believe they won, like letting them know that they won something. They're persuasive and enthusiastic. This is like their gift. I know I'm in a room with an I when I'm like, I want to do whatever you want to do. Let's go. Like, that's how I know I'm in the room with an I. Hands can if you recognize those people, right? Their fears, their biggest fear is social rejection. I's hate being told no. So ironically, it's the big thing that we have to teach salespeople to get over, right? Like, it's okay to be told no. It's okay for somebody to reject you. It's fine. So steadiness, harmonizing specialists. This is the S. They cooperate with others within existing circumstances to carry out the task. They don't like new circumstances. I want to clarify, they like existing circumstances, but they are amazing when something already exists. They don't like new systems, but the old system, they will slay it. But don't worry, they can learn new systems. Just in that transition period, it's not very fun for them. They don't like that transition period. So steadiness, they prioritize and collaborate with others. Their stability, they're motivated by stability and status quo. This is my business partner. My business partner, Ron, is like, I would like everything to stay static. Like if it could just like not change, that would be absolutely perfect. That'd be the ideal day for him. And they appear to be a loyal team person. That is the absolute truth. In fact, most of my team members, most of my business partners have some level of S in them, because that's what's necessary to keep the company growing. And because our company is very community-based, very people-based, it's really important that all of my team members, all of my business partners, all of our community members and team leaders have that kind of steadiness so they can be careful with other people. They can be concerned with other people. The S style, what do they want? They want you to be sincere. In fact, I kind of skipped that on the other ones. The I's want you to be enthusiastic. The D's want you to be efficient, fast, quick. And Skinner, if you're understanding, we know what we want, right? All right. Last one, and one of my favorites, because this is the one I associate the most with, are the conscientious folks. They're the information specialists, right? They work conscientiously within existing circumstances to ensure quality and accuracy. Again, not a huge fan of change, but will change if necessary. Conscientious people, they are task-oriented and accurate. They love making sure things get done right. They are motivated by order and proper ways. Who notices I have 52 wealth principles that I talk about all the time? I have 5 foundational books. I have systems to how I do things. I want an automated millionaire building process. Even that word process is a C word. Hence, can't recognize I do things very well when I do them. I'm obsessed, a little bit of a perfectionist in that sense. But I'm perfectionist to the point where it's done is better than good. Good is better than not done. Appears to be detail-oriented. Here's what they don't like: criticism of work. If you judge the fact that my process doesn't build millionaires, I will fucking kill you. Other than that, we're good. Don't question whether my process works, and I'm perfectly fine. Hence, if you understand, don't mess with a C and their work. All right, so C style wants you to be correct. All a C is ever asking for is that you be right in what you're speaking about. Hence, if you understand, with a C, you must know your knowledge. You just have to be right. That's it. We don't care about being right. C's just want information. They just want to know that you know what you're talking about. Don't lie to a C. They can smell it. They can smell it immediately because they got a stack of facts. Hence, if you're connected, you know these C's. We're going to be a little bit nerdy. Now, some of us, as I'm reading through this, who's noticed that I kind of bounce through the disc pretty evenly? Even though I like the C's, I'm also a high D. I run multiple businesses. I'm task-oriented. I'm efficient. I also run a community-based business. So I'm out there influencing. I'm social. I'm doing what I have to do. And then I'm also very stable. Like if you speak to me, we're always talking about like making sure that things happen stably, that no community member is left behind. Like everybody has to be remembered. Messages have to be sent. Like there's a sentence I say in our business meetings all the time. Like somebody will be like, oh, we sent them an email, and I'll have to remind them, nobody checks their fucking emails. Send them a text, because they need to know if I don't text them, they won't show up. And then I feel guilty that I didn't let them know an event was happening. And if I text them and they can't show up, that's their problem. Has nothing to do with me. Hence, can't recognize that's an S thing, right? We care about your success to the point where it's like, it can be frustrating. So take a snapshot. This is really helpful. This is the disc profile. You kind of use this with yourself. It's really important to kind of evaluate yourself. Where do you stand this? Drop in the chat if you recognize your letter already. If you already kind of know which one you associate with the most. And I'll kind of, as you're talking about, as you're typing in the chat, filling up the chat with your disc, I'll tell you, for me, I have always been heavy on the task-oriented side. But over the years, I've had to learn and adapt this people orientation, because that's where the wealth was. My original incentive was wealth building. And so if you're on the task-oriented side and you're moving over to the people-oriented side, like manually, it's okay. It's possible. Like, let me tell you. But now that I feel like well-rounded, and I love people. I love getting things done. I love being outgoing when I have to be. And I still appreciate my time alone. It's easy to shift. It's fun to shift and be a different person for a little while, especially when you know it's benefiting the people in front of you. And that is an affirmation you're going to have to master if you want to master money and if you want to master sales. That affirmation again is it's fun to shift your behavioral style if it improves your life and the lives of other people. Hence, Cam, if you understand what I'm talking about, right? Because in first, it may not be fun to shift. So you have to, get it into your head that it is fun to make these shifts. It is fun to change. Here's another slide that I think is really, really important. This one gives you like the do's and don'ts. So just take a screenshot. If you want access to it, you could just send us a message on Alchemist Nation. There is actually a course on alchemistnation.com already. There's a free course that I made for realtors called Working with Investors. And in that course, I do have like a disc training that I put together so that you'd have access to how to become a better sales agent. And Cam, if you know, I'm obsessed with getting agents to be better at working with investors. I want the communication to happen. I want you evaluating deals for us. I want you sending us deals. I want you helping us raise capital from your past clients where they made a lot of money and you stopped talking to them. So instead, raise the capital and do deals. So these components right here are their work preferences. So when you're taking on business partners, so anybody who's a big team leader or looking to be a big team leader or looking to have a lot of units, a lot of employees or a lot of staff, you have to understand these profiles when you're hiring. Because if you hire a D for an S position, you are screwed. Your whole community is going to be yelling at you. All your clients are going to be mad that this person is super rude. If you hire an S for a D position, they're not going to hold your team accountable. Ds make great managers. Really crush the management space. Like they're good team leaders, good managers, but they do not make good tacticians. They don't make good customer service people. They can be okay in sales. But the salespeople are your eyes. They are fun. They're interactive. They remember to call people. But they don't make great managers, right? They're the fun manager who doesn't get shit done. So it's really important that you put the right disc profile into the space that you're working with. S's are just fantastic at holding things together, whatever it is. Like if you have a system that has to stay in place, S's will hold things together. People, technology. My social media is run by Feli, who's S. That's absolutely amazing. Like anything I sent to her, she's like, yes, I can do it. And she actually means it. She actually can do it. She figures it out. Dorina has a lot of high S. Ron has a lot of S. I think Mitch has a lot of S. In fact, most of my friends who have been extremely successful in partnering with me have been very good at when we set something in place, they maintain it. They hold it together. The C's. Also Amy, definitely S. The C's, you got plenty of S. Yes. Yeah, you just hate it. So the C's, they have the ability to clean up and automate things. So like if your company is a little bit of a mess, like your bookkeeper is a C, but you don't want them on the sales floor. This is terrible. It would not work. But in the technology space, in the digital marketing space, C's do great. When it comes, they don't do good at copywriting, except now they can use Chat GPT. So maybe the C's are making a comeback on copywriting. So let's give our whole disc profile a big round of applause for whatever you are. There's a tool and a resource to get you past any challenge now. So business generating, this is how, if you identified your disc, I see a bunch of people who are like kind of, blending, like they got a bunch of different ones. Very cool. Absolutely. So you can look at this chart, take a picture of this chart. This is where you most likely will be best at as far as generating leads. So the dominants, they're decisive, tough, impatient, strong-willed, competitive, demanding, independent, direct, does not listen. They are fantastic at door knocking, fantastic at cold calling. They don't hear any challenges when they cold call. The C's, they're good at online lead generation. They're good at farming. They're good at direct mail and email marketing because those are system-based. You're system-based. It's a numbers game. You just bang through a bunch of those. Steadiness. These are open houses. Like the S's, they're open houses. They're farming neighborhoods. They're very good at SOI referrals, sphere of influence. So they're like, once they know somebody, they stay with that somebody for a very, very long time. Influencers. These are my people for networking groups, open houses, sphere of influence, social media marketing. They are the partiers. They're the ones you'll see running events, hosting events. If you are not currently an I, and I'm telling you to go do a hosting event, find an I, be the S, right? Find an I, be the D, find an I, be the C. But if you're not running a networking event, you're missing out on the easiest marketing tool right now. One more step for hiring salespeople. This is for us. The easiest way to scale your company is to bring in a salesperson. Bring somebody in who can sell what you've already got. Who here has a great product, already has something amazing, something that you can sell, something that you can offer people. So the easiest way to scale it is sell more of it, right? The easiest way to sell more of it is to bring in a salesperson, train a salesperson to sell more of what you already got. So a good buyer's agent is an IS with some D. An I for influence, an S for follow-up, and the D to make sure they stick to their targets, because Ds want to make more money. So it's good to have a salesperson who always wants more. Another great listing agent, this is on the listing side. These so that was a buyer's agent. Buyers can be tough to work with, so Ds have a little bit more systems in place than the traditional IS. The good listing agents, listings are very difficult to take. Sellers can be a little more stuck in the ground than a buyer. A buyer is kind of more of a fun experience, which is why the I's do much better there. Listings can be a little more difficult. So the DIC, because sellers are going to need more information, they're going to be more tactical. You still need to have some I, because you got to like people in order to be a great agent, but the D's do much better at listings. Hence the camera, if you understand why, right? Sellers are just really, really hard. Like you grind through them. We're also in the seller's market. Good at closing the sales from online leads, or the SCs. So SCs, if you're like, oh, well, I'm not an I, like I can't be successful. No, you're much better at the digital marketing side, the online sales side, warming up existing leads, building systems that automate and warm up. So the people who do really good in, who are C's and S's, they found systems that they can leverage. Hands camera, if this was valuable. Excellent. So like I said, I taught that at the 100 Millionaire Summit last year. This year, 100 Millionaire Summit is coming up again. If you are a real estate agent or no real estate agent, I've got something special for them before we jump into Q&A. That is a event called Work with Investors. I'm doing it Wednesday at 5 p.m. And I'm going to show agents how to work with investors. And I'm going to show them how to learn 7 streams of income, 6 that they have never heard of or thought of, 5 of which they get paid before the closing. 5 ways to get paid for your marketing before you ever close the real estate deal. So for real estate investors, you're incentivized to share this with every agent that you possibly know, so that they can start sending you leads and bringing you private capital and negotiating better deals for you. For other agents, why would you do this? Build yourself a team or a network of other realtors who can send you business and who can eventually do your deals for you as you're building your community up, so that you have way too many leads, way too much business. In fact, I don't do a single deal myself anymore. I pass all my bits off to other agents because it's faster for me. It gets my free time back. Hands to the camera if you understand your disc and had some fun with this. Ready to leverage disc a little more? Just a little more juice inside here. You know thyself a little more. Who here's pretty impressed with themselves right now? Pretty happy with who they are. Recognize you got some strengths. Yeah, you should be. Give yourselves a round of applause. No matter what disc you are, there's a way to leverage it so that you can be stronger, so that you can make more money, so you can get out there and be successful. We are on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. The only way to do this is through education, accountability, and through network, which is why Alchemist Nation is committed to growing a network of only people who do deals morally, ethically, and legally. Good people who care about building each other up, good people who care about building themselves up, who are not sitting there being complacent in life, who are ready to challenge themselves, are ready to get outside of their comfort zone. So if you know someone, which you do, you know somebody who you'd like to be successful, you got a family member or a friend or a colleague that you'd like to build a relationship with, that you want to be successful, invite them to Alchemist Nation, but use your invite link, use your ambassador link, so you can track how many people you brought in, so you can slowly over time rank up within the community of ambassadors, so you can track and say, okay, like I've actually brought in this many people, because over time it's going to become more and more important within the community. The more people you've brought through, the more people who it showed, because it keeps track right now, Alchemist Nation, where everybody can see who you brought in. And once they're in under you for life. Hence, if you recognize that's going to have implications down the road. Absolutely. So the more people you bring in, the more valuable your network becomes, the more people you're having an impact on. So Work with Investors coming up Wednesday, and Mark just dropped it in the chat. So let's give Mark a big round of applause. And Work with Investors, I'm going to show you the 7 streams of income for realtors who are looking to work with investors. This does not work for realtors who want to work with average people, who want to work with like residential, just single families, and like I don't like those realtors. So they can stay somewhere else, and I'm only going to work with investor friendly realtors. Hence, if you understand why investor friendly realtors build millionaires. The other realtors, I don't know what they do. They post pictures about cookie ingredients, and they post their listings, and nobody likes watching their videos on TikTok and stuff. So let's open it up to questions. Give yourselves a round of applause. I want to open up to questions on Know Thyself or some shares. I know Steven has something to say about this. I know Mitch has something to say. So let's open it up.
Fun
Everybody on
fact.
TikTok, cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. Hashtag no, not Andrew Tate. Sorry.
Fun facts. I have a TMV version of this, but the D's. This is a funny thing, and some of you will go, "Holy crap, you're right."
Oh, mastery students. Mastermind is at 12 o'clock. Sorry, Steven. Mastery is 12 o'clock today or 11 o'clock Steven's time.
Central.
Central.
You just said your Eastern time, I'd be happy, but you never tell us. I have missed so many things when I first met you because I came on at my time, not yours. I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to explain. No, when we get together. Anyway.
You're right.
But no, here's the fun part. I did this a long time ago with my wife. It wasn't Disc back then. I learned it from another company, but it all started back in the 50s or 60s from this one guy, and everything comes from him. But anyway, the fun part is I would be divorced if I had not done this with my family and my wife, because most of the time what I found as I'm a D, I'm a DI, but really I'm a D when it comes to making decisions, right? My wife is an S. We are polar opposites. And the funny thing is that the C's and the I's is the same thing. So a C says, hey, I just need the 5 books, the three videos. And then if you could give me, a volume of this, I'll make that decision. And the I is just like, dude, I just want to have fun and go out there and let's get rah. We're like talking about the future, not the past, right? And the D's are like, hey, just give me the condensed version. And really, if you just give me 3 sentences of the condensed version, I'll make that decision. And then, of course, the S's, my wife, is like, we just want to be friends. Let's just have a good time. Don't worry about all that. Let's just value each other. Right?
We don't have to talk about money today. Let's have food.
Have to talk about money today. It's okay. We just love and they're the homemakers. They're the ones that keep the family together, right? So it's just interesting when you start looking at this, how you can use this in your personal life. And I promise you, I've saved more marriages doing this than anything else, because then my wife, when she comes home and she starts telling me about the cat grooming, sometimes I just have to sit there and have to take it. She's going to tell me a 10-minute story about how she got scratched. I just want to know, where did you get scratched? Right.
Check this out, Steven. You'll like this. So this is something Dorina made for me for my birthday when we first started dating. And it's essentially our 4 different personality tests that we checked on with each other. So it's her disc, my disc. It's her Myers-Briggs, my Myers-Briggs. It's and then these 2 other tests. I think Enneagram's on there, and just interests was on there. Yeah. And so we used to do these tests. I'm interested in the girl, so I'm giving her these tests, and she's taking them, and she gives me this one I'd never heard of before. Oh, 5 love languages. So you have 5 love languages, 16 personalities, Myers-Briggs and DISC, and then this other one that she came up with. So we're giving all these tests, and I'm thinking, okay, she's hitting all the check boxes, right? She's opposite of me in just about everything except for DISC. We both run very high on the DI, and she runs much stronger on the S, and her C is right up there with mine. So we really match very, very well, except for S. When we're together in the same room, she shifts all the way over to S. She's like S and I when we're in the same space together, but she understands how I operate. She's still very much a D and understands how I work. She's very much a C, understands how I work. So this was her gift to me. And I told her, to this day, best gift I've ever received.
Absolutely. Because when you understand that the person isn't boring you to death because it's personal, that's just how they talk, then you're okay with that. But it's like, why are you just giving me this long story? I just want to know, right? And she's like, why are you being so curt with me? So anyway, I'm just saying,
Steven, exactly that.
Yeah. So
get to what is the problem? We can solve it. Why do I have to know how it happened? I don't care. I only want the details if I ask for the details.
And I don't even need those, even if I ask for them. Just don't even give them to me. Just say this
Probably
is the
fine.
decision.
I'm probably why would you do that? I don't actually mean why would you do that? Awesome. Let's give Steven a round of applause. Great share, brother. I see Chong got his hand up. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to
I
see
just
you.
want to, yeah, likewise. I just want to share that, we talk about our weaknesses when you're still coming up on your journey, and that could be like 40, 50, 60 years old. It doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
But it's all about the experiences that you've had and what you've done and the tools under your belt. Don't be quick to to think that you're not good at something. Try it, get some experience, and then really sort it out. And then you can say, "Yup, I'm definitely not good at that." And then leverage other people, right? Otherwise, everything you've never tried is going to be a weakness.
Let's give Chong a round of applause. That's true. That's true. I spoke at Gary Ecker's Tampa Bay Real Estate Investors Association last night. I was there and speaking. And afterwards, somebody came over and said, like, I've never done it before. I've never bought a house before. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm afraid I'm going to make a mistake. And I looked at her, I just told her, like, hey, cool. You're at the perfect place to go and buy a house and make a mistake, because every one of us, every successful millionaire that I know, every investor in real estate business owner that I know has made a mistake at some point. The sooner you get it like under your belt, the better. Because trust me, the mistake you're going to make today is not big enough to take you out of the game. Right. And even the mistakes I could make today are not big enough to take me out of the game, because you level up at every point. So I could go and lose $10 million. I'd find a way to go make 50 million, because it would just stretch me to the next level if you're going to stay in the game. Now, if a defeat is going to take you out of the game, then you're right. Definitely don't buy anything. If you're not ready to stay in the game past the defeat, now's the time to get out of it. Every master was once a disaster. And that's what you remind me of there, Chong. So awesome. Anthony, I saw your hand up a second ago. You still in with us, brother?
Yeah, I saw Alan Knowles. He had a really good question. He put his hand up here, though, so I'm going to let him ask that question, but I wanted to make sure that got answered.
All right. Alan, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Anthony.
Appreciate that. This is a great presentation, a great breakdown of DISC. I'm probably going to slow it down when I listen to the replay, though. I usually
I
speed
can't blame
videos
you.
up. I'm going to slow this one down. But I've always wondered, and I guess other people have too, how does this relate to the whole Gino Wickman rocket fuel visionary integrator roles?
Fantastic question. So that is a book that Ron and I have gone through multiple times. I am visionary. He is integrator. What's interesting is DISC actually has a lot to do with it. The visionary tends to be the ID, the integrator tends to be the SC, but they both have to agree on what they're doing. They both have to absolutely agree so deeply on the passion and purpose of where they're looking to go. The other side to this is it depends. Like, the answer truly is that it depends on who the visionary is, because it'll just be the opposite of that. Because in certain industries, Ron has been a fantastic integrator. In other industries, I have had to semi-integrate, because like rereal estate, an integrator needs to be a DC. That's very, very important that the integrator be a DC in the real estate business. Ron has had to his DISC over the years has adjusted. His D was completely non-existent when we started, but he's shifted to, I think it's almost 60% dominance now because of real estate. He had to adjust as an integrator. So it is very independent to the industry itself, right? Like in the tech space, like an SC slays it. Like, he's a great integrator in the tech space, because it's all about customer service and systems, customer service systems. And for me, it's ID. It's all about, influence and locking down the next contract, locking down the next relationship, who we're going to integrate APIs with. Those are big relationship conversations that, the visionary is very good at. So, and for anybody who hasn't read the book, Rocket Fuel, Gino Wickman also wrote the book Traction. They're a business structured coaching company, and they're very, very good at helping people scale up into the 7 figures, 8 figures, and beyond. Does that answer the question, Alan?
Yes, no, that's great. And actually those two letters, ID, makes me think of idea, which is certainly implying visionary. So I won't forget that. but I'll definitely be replaying this a few times too. But that's
Absolutely,
great. Thank you.
Let's give Alan a round of applause. He's been around the community for a long time now, taking action, hanging out with us. Always great questions. Been through the recession proof challenge with us multiple times. Fantastic guy to know. Also made some really good connections for me. Go ahead, Carlos.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good, man. Great meeting today, man. Absolutely wonderful meeting, man. I'm getting a lot of information. I personally, I think I identify as an Icarus. as they
Yes,
say.
you do.
Right.
No
I had a
question
que-
about it.
Right. I had a question about that workshop, that real estate investors workshop on Wednesday. Number one, is it open to the public? Can we invite real estate agents? And number two, are there any costs involved with that workshop?
That workshop is 100% free, just like this one. It's part of paying it forward. And I'll tell each one of you, it's my marketing funnel to build more millionaires. So I use realtors to build millionaires. So it's my recruiting funnel for, hey, are you the right type of person to help me build more millionaires? Without an agent, I can't get the transactions done. So
Right.
that is why I do it for free. I teach them 7 streams of income so they can help you become a millionaire.
Right. Absolutely, man. Thank you for everything and all the information. And thank you for everything you do, Gual.
Let's give Carlos a big round of applause, bro. I love that question. Thank you. Any support any support you want to send to us, it is about getting realtors in front of work with investors. That is the biggest way you can give me a compliment is to, send a referral, send us people who like want to make more money, who are hungry, who are good people,
Right.
want to do things morally, ethically, legally. Like, yeah, man. Thank you.
Right. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. What other questions? I'll stick around for a few more minutes. I know Mitch might stick around. Steve might stick around. Brian's another millionaire on the call. We got a couple of our millionaires in the room. Let's give our millionaires a big round of applause for hanging out with us, supporting us, helping each one of you answering questions. I know Brian is doing some big deals. So like he posted in Alchemist Nation every so often recently. It's just really, really cool to see our millionaires paying it forward and supporting all of you as you're growing. These guys are mentors, like they're willing to help. Brian runs a group in Massachusetts. He meets up every month. Brian, what day do you guys meet up in Massachusetts? And where do you guys meet? It's in Plymouth, right? So if you're in the Massachusetts, Rhode Island area, you want to hang out with some real estate investors, hang out with a millionaire, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so right now we're meeting at the Cabbie Shack in Plymouth. It's just a an investor meetup group, and it's good. So we've been doing on Wednesdays. We've been thinking about changing it. So I'll keep everyone posted on that if anyone wants to come down. It's pretty good. We go over a lot of different topics on mostly real estate, but yeah. It's fun.
Awesome, man. Brian, have a conversation with Dorina. I want to add that to one of Alchemist Nation's events so we can get that in there, promote it a little bit better. The more people who are learning from you, man, because you got the heart, you got the mindset, like the more people are learning from you, the more success we're gonna have, the more millionaires are gonna be. Let's give Brian a big round of applause. He's doing a lot, paying it forward. Even before he met me, he already had an event. He was already paying it forward. He was always helping people. So just fantastic guy. Thurbin, I see your hand up, brother.
Yeah, so
Question. Hold on, Brian. How many units do you have right now?
I have 89.
89 units.
Yeah, I was just in Kentucky doing some due diligence on 31 units, but it wasn't really the property management wasn't what I expected, so I backed out of there. And looking at some deals in Tennessee right now. A 58 unit. So, we'll see. So just working the numbers on it and trying to get my due diligence done. We're going to be pulling something big off this year.
Hell yeah. Double or nothing, brother, like double or nothing. You're at 89. Yeah. Let's go for 100.
That's right.
Awesome. Let's give Brian one round of applause. Go ahead, Thurbin. Sorry, man. I know. Like, if I don't talk about units when I've got these guys on the call, right? Like it just gets people excited, like to know it's possible that normal people can buy real estate and acquire it over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, so I noticed like I'm kind of resonate mostly with the S. So I was like wondering like how does like how do I monetize that? Like, or like what
SC.
are the best situations for me to like put myself in? Because I
Yeah,
know I
who,
don't really like pushing like people. I really like kind of like I love fostering relationships with people. That's just me. So like how do you like monetize that, I guess?
this is a great question. Who here is also associating themselves as an S or aligns themselves as an S? Who here knows an S, has like friends that are S's? Okay, so this is a really good answer, a really good question to ask so you can help them out. And for Thurbin, I also associate or assign myself as an S when I am in a position to get rich. Whenever I am thinking rich people thoughts, I'm in an S state. Whenever I am thinking like, how can I get more money this year? That's my D. And then whenever I decide, okay, like let's go tactically do something that makes money, that's my S. So S is serving others. It's finding out the problem somebody else has, like what would they like it to look like? You know, this is your problem. What would the solution look like? And how would you like that delivered to you? Like it's very customer service. And I don't know another way to make big money other than to serve somebody who has a big problem that they're willing to pay for. Right? If they have a problem that they want to keep, there you can't help those people, right? Don't help people who want their problems. By the way, there's a lot of them out there. They'll complain, but they actually don't want to solve it. You want to solve problems for other people. So S has a hard time taking money. That can be a challenge because sometimes the S thinks if I don't take the money, I'm helping them even more. But that is a lie. Because if you don't take the money from somebody, they won't feel like they've appreciated you. They won't feel like they've earned what you did, and they'll never talk to you again. And that's a good way to end relationships with people that you've taken care of, served, built a deeper relationship with. Because if you don't allow them to, like, if you're constantly in a giving state and you don't leave room for receiving, they're eventually going to feel inferior around you and they're not going to want to spend time with you. So when you allow them the opportunity to pay you for a service that you've rendered, if you've rendered a good service, which I know you, Thurbin, an S will never render a bad service. They would never stop until the service became great. Does that make sense? This is why S's make so much money. This is why they're the greatest people when it comes to building business and making money. The S is the authority on the subject. It's because you'll always sell a great product and you'll always provide great customer service and you'll always over deliver. But if you charge, you'll get to do it again. If you don't charge, that relationship will end and they will not send you other relationships to serve. But when you do charge, you get to work with them continuously because they feel the exchange is even, right? The exchange it feels fair. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you know what's funny? So like the guy I sold, like the second guy I got into the mastermind program, he was actually thanking me. And I felt weird. Like it felt weird, like thinking but yeah,
that's receiving, Thurbin. It's okay to receive. It's part of giving. Like if I'm giving you this information and you're not receiving it, I'll stop giving you the information, right? Like because it's like, oh, they don't appreciate it, right? Like so in giving, there has to be a receiving, right? There has to be. If I didn't charge for the 100 Millionaire Summit, half the room would not have shown up. I know this because I gave away 100 tickets. 20 of those people showed up. I gave away 100 tickets. Only 20 showed up. I charged for 180 tickets. I charged for 250 tickets and 180 of those people showed up. So I know that when you know you're going to give something and you charge for it, the law of reciprocity kicks in and people see value. It's part of the game. But if you give it away for free, they won't feel like you gave them your best. Even if you did give them your best.
Easy come, easy go, baby.
That's it. We do not appreciate what we don't give something for. It's just part of nature. So awesome question.
Thank you, Walter.
Yeah, you're very welcome, brother. Go ahead, Sandra.
Well, so this is my first call, so thank you very much.
Welcome to the game.
I definitely want to be involved. Very important. Have a lot of lives I want to change on a different scale. But I am finding myself running out of room in the building, the executive center, that now I have acquired my third room, my third office space. And now I have an office space in Miami and also in Orlando, but they're not mine. So I don't know. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I'm changing the face of healthcare. And
yeah.
my goal is I'm going to be transferring. I just sent off my information to Maryland. We're going to be in every state. We're going to be the easy access to mental health care.
Let's give her a round of applause, by the way. She's crushing it.
It's very
You're doing God's work. Psychology is where we spend most of our time. Success is psychology. Fantastic.
I'm sitting over here doing this. I'm like, yep. Oh yeah, that's me. And that applies to this too. Look at that.
Absolutely. Some of my best coaches were psychologists before they got into coaching and hypnosis and NLP. Like they come from they have the doctorate. And so
yep.
excellent.
I have my, I've been in nursing since I was 16 years old, over 30 years. And I climbed the chain of command. So we say, whatever. And
you climbed the chain of command. She climbed the mountain. Let's give her another round of applause. Hey, we're in a group hanging out with millionaires, Sandra. It's okay to be proud of your accomplishments. We're okay with it.
In my first year, I'm rapidly approaching having my own practice. So like as far as but what I'm interested in is acquiring more property of my own and to be able to rent out space instead of having myself renting from somebody else. So it's a little bit different dynamic. So and that's why I was trying to reach out to you. So I value everybody's time on here, but if there's something that maybe we can, kind of ping ideas off of, I would really appreciate it. I definitely want to go to your summit. I'm very happy to be here and I thank you very much. And
fantastic. So Sandra, let me tell you how this works. I don't respond to anybody's messages, but on one of these calls, your question is extremely valuable to me because it's content, right?
Yeah.
So I'd much rather answer it here if that's okay with everybody on the call. Would that be interested? Would you be interested in figuring out how to get more commercial real estate for your business? Awesome. So Sandra, great question. So my brother actually, I'm going to tell you a story. My brother bought a $1.5 million building, a commercial building, because he owns a physical fitness academy. And instead of buying a building just for him, he bought a building that was a multi-floored old mill, 20,000 square feet. And in that building, he has multiple tenants, a restaurant, he's got a grocery store, he's got another fitness facility, like a yoga dance studio. He's got a guy who records music. He's got all these different tenants in there. And he's got his facility, right? AMP Academy, right? Athletic movement and parkour. He teaches Ninja Warrior to kids. And he bought this building for $1 million with no money out of pocket.
See, that's
seller financing, and then he raised the other $200,000 that the seller was requesting he bring to the table from his clients, from his community members, right? The people who their kids go to his school. So that building then got appraised last year, right at the end of the year, for $1.5 million. He did a cash out refinance, paid out all his investors. Actually, he's got a couple of investors left to pay, but he's got the ability to pay out his investors doing some renovations, paid out the seller, right? He got from 8% interest with the seller down to 5% interest on $1.35 million. He did a cash out refinance. So he's able to keep $150,000 from a building that has cash flowed $16,000 a month since he purchased it.
nice.
Hence the camera, if that's a cool deal, right? There's
Yes.
commercial. So Sandra, fortunately, you're in a time of the market where commercial is hurting right now. Like people are scared to own commercial real estate. Tenants are leaving, retail stores are going down. So you're going to find that there are actually deals for you. Now there's certain tenants, because Ron and I love the commercial real estate space, but there's only certain tenants we actually like. We like service-based industries. Think doctors, think attorneys, think gym facilities, hair salons, nail salons.
Yeah, I have plans. I have my DMP and this is just.
And the previous building he was in, we chose it. He rented it. He chose it because it had all these other kid-based facilities in it. Like there was an archery range, there was a baseball place, there was like a BB gun place, and then his was the biggest, but it gave the kids another place, like just the same type of avatars in the building. So when you do big commercial buildings, you make sure that you're putting all the similar tenants that can be symbiotic from the same client into that space. It's so very cool. So what question do you have about acquiring? What would be stopping you from buying your next building right now? We'll put it that way.
Actually, so apparently, I think, okay, so what would stop me right now, which is nothing from me. I was told that I needed my tax return to show my finances for the first year. And
only if you're getting a traditional loan, yes.
But that's why I'm here, because I'm hungry.
Hey, my brother didn't get a traditional loan for 2 years, right? So, or a year and a half.
I don't have time. I don't have time.
Yep. So it sounds like you need names on deeds. So go to namesondeeds.com. January 14th, I'm teaching names on deeds. It's my premier training. I do it once a year. It's kick-ass. It's even got a workbook, and the names on deeds workbook you can buy on Amazon, or you can go to namesondeeds.com, and I think I give it away for free. Ron, do I give it away for free to download? We do? Yeah. Okay. We do. We're awesome. I spilled water on it today, so I feel
okay.com. Okay.
Namesondeeds.com. Yep. Right there.
All right. This is awesome. Thank you. Like I'm really kind of overly excited.
Sandra, let's get it. Let's explode, right? Names on Deeds was designed for multifamily. It was designed for commercial real estate investors. So let's give her a big round of applause. She asked the right questions in the right room. You get the right answers. You get the right results. Any other questions? For, again, mastery students, mastermind students, we're going to be meeting at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's 11 o'clock Stephen Beaver Central Time. And if you're on the West Coast, I know there's a couple of us, that's 9 o'clock in the morning your time. So right now it's like 8:30 for you, and you're still here hanging with us. Like, great job. You woke up early. Go ahead, Stephen. And anybody who's got to jump off, I want to send, before I send you off, go and do a video on Facebook. Do a live video. Pull up the phone. If you've never done it before, do a live. If Facebook's not your platform, screw Facebook. Do TikTok. I did TikTok today, right? Or do Instagram, whatever your live, whatever you have the most followers on and like you like the most, whatever you're most natural to, and do a live that talks about something that is really important to you. What is the one thing, the one problem in the world, not your life, in the world, that you would like to be a part of? And just share a quick little video of why you think it's important to fix that. Share what the problem is, and then explain, that you don't quite have the answer, but one day you will surround yourself with the people who are going to solve that problem, or you want to be around the people who are going to solve that problem. And I guarantee you, accidentally, somebody is going to message you about how to solve that problem. Hands Karen, if you're okay with receiving those comments, those messages, look, it's going to attract like-minded people. You don't have to go out and solve the world's problems today, but do this video. And if you're in real estate, it could be housing, right? It could be the cost of housing. It could be the types of housing that are available. It could be the fact that we are in a housing shortage, right? And it doesn't look like we're going to get out of a housing shortage anytime soon. It could be interest rates. It could be affordability. It could be the fact there's no super cool real estate to buy, or super fun real estate to buy. It could be that the real estate is far too expensive, right? There's not enough of it. It's not in the right places. Whatever problem you're looking to solve. Right. For me as a landlord, I thought the landlords sucked. I was not happy with the other landlords in my city. So I knew I had to out acquire them. So I would buy from shitty landlords, from slumlords, and I would make my properties good, clean, and safe. That was my priority. I had to go through the building. I had to go through in a community or a neighborhood that was not overrun too bad. I would go in and I'd buy buildings and I'd fix it up. That was my thing. I wanted to change the city block by block. So I kick out not the strippers, but I kick out the prostitutes, the drug dealers. I'm fine with strippers. They do it at another building. It's not my problem. The prostitutes, when they're doing it at my building, that's an issue I have. There's kids in the halls. Like, no. The drug dealers, anybody who is like domestic violence, like, beating on each other, like those people got to go out of my building, right? Like, change the neighborhood, change the way things are going. But yeah. whatever your passion is. So do a video about it. Hence the camp. If you're committed to doing a video about your passion, who you're committed to being passionate about something, right? Changing some problem in the world, right? Sandra's going to change the mindsets of the people. She's probably going to change the whole planet, right? Like Tony Robbins style, but she's got a doctorate, so she's better than Tony. Kidding. No, we love Tony. We celebrated him today. He's got his book. And if you want to take disc, go to tonyrobbins.com/disc and you can, really take a disc test, find out. But do not do that disc test until you've done your live video, because if you don't record it and if you don't put it out there, it's not real. Your mission doesn't exist, right? You don't actually care if you don't say you care, if you don't tell people you care, because up until now it's in here. You're not making any impact in the world. When you get it out, there's a possibility you could help somebody. There's a chance that somebody out there is just looking for a mission to attach themselves to. Maybe there's somebody out there who's just looking for you to care a little bit. And maybe that's the reason they decide to talk to you. Maybe that's the reason they decide to reach out to you. This is how I met Vinny Chopra. He saw it on my Instagram. All right, I said, I want to build 100 millionaires. And he said, I got to know that guy. And he's become a mentor, and it's just been a really great relationship. So you have no idea what's going to happen when you start talking about the thing you want to do, the change you want to make happen. Go ahead, Stephen. So if anybody's jumping off, jump off with my blessing. Love you all.
Couple of things that you said and something else. First, the GGN, Walter's Golden Nugget for the day, is every master was a disaster. Okay, people got to realize that you're talking about yourself. I'm talking about myself. Everybody, that's something we always have to remember. Okay, we didn't start where we are right now. Don't judge somebody's outsides by your insides, right? So that was good. And then Josh, I wish I was as young as Josh is right now with all the stuff that he's doing. It's like he's an older version of me. I wish I was like this when I was him. I was gonna do this Monday, Josh, but I'm gonna do that. No problem, my friend. You earned it. You deserve it. I was gonna do this Monday, but I can't wait, and I've got 30 minutes before we jump on the mastery. So Josh said, your garden will blossom if you water it. I'm going to do a TMV podcast on that today after this, because that is, but when you water it, it doesn't just grow, right? It's not, oh, there it is, right? It's not Jack and the Beanstalk, right? And so I'm going to go down that road. And then the last thing, I talked with someone in here, I won't mention the name, but I'm just going to let everybody know that if you've got a program and you're uncomfortable with the price, and people are telling you it should be a larger price, the clients aren't the problem. You are. You're the one that sets the price of your comfortability level, right? I always use the cars as an example. There's used car salesman, there's new car salesman, there's sports car salesman, there's Rolls Royces, there's cars. Chung will be able to go down this road. There's cars that cost $2 million, $10 million. But look, you can sell whatever car you want, but the buyers are out there. So it's a comfort level, I understand, but the only reason that everybody's here is because you got out of your comfort level. So think about that.
That's the truth. Let's give Stephen Beaver a round of applause. He wrote the course, Get Skinny Avatars, Get Fat Wallets, on Alchemist Nation. It's a fantastic course if you're looking to figure out who you're supposed to be working with, who the ideal client is, who has all the money that you want in your wallet. Then you got to take that course. It's part of the Recession Proof Challenge as well. It's a really fantastic course. Josh, I'm going to take your hand, but I saw Desiree when she was fixing her camera. She's wearing one of my favorite shirts. I've never seen Names on Deeds in purple. Let's give her a big round of applause. That's cool. I didn't even know we had that available. That is badass. That is, man, what a cool version. Go ahead, Josh.
All right, so going back to being out of your comfort zone, actually after this call, I'm going to door knock a house, well, a couple houses. And
dude, I door knocked 22 doors and got
go
2
for
listings.
it, guys.
Better,
Just
right?
go for it.
Yep.
Yeah. So yesterday I actually door knocked it and came up to the lady. She's in the driveway. I'm trying. She said she's a visitor. It got a little weird, but I'm gonna go back there today, give a card. I'm working with a team member from Compass right now.
Yep.
To help her. Yeah, so she's gonna attend 1099 me.
Look at that. An investor is working with an agent, sending the agent business. He's out there grinding, doing his wholesale thing, and can't service the client himself, pass it to an agent. This is why realtors need to learn how to work with investors. Josh, continue, man. Sorry.
Yeah, so with that opportunity, I met her. I also put her and my partner together, and they're going to possibly be doing flips, and then I'm bringing wholesale deals, and I'll be getting a wholesale fee and 10% of profits because I relationships and being out of your comfort zone. So
Yeah.
it's huge.
100%. Let's give Josh Capazola a round of applause.
Capazola, thank you so
Capazola,
much.
there it is. So he went
Thanks,
to the
Goldman.
mentorship with us. He's been to the mentorship. He's in mastery. He's absolutely crushing it. Success in this real estate business, in this game, it really does come from what you desire, what you want. You decide, you set your mind on something, and then you go towards it, and the right people will show up, the right financing will show up. Money is not the challenge in this game at all, I assure you. Money is just a tool we use to play the game. It's a tool, it's a resource. The deals themselves, again, not hard to find. Like, the buildings have been sitting there for years and years and years, and the land has not just shown up. The land has been there. You're the one who's changed. You're the one who has decided that the land is now important, that the real estate is now important. It's been here the whole time. There's always been a price on it. There's always been a price that somebody who's willing to move that real estate at. Even me, I'm buyable. Every piece of real estate I own, I will sell it tomorrow for the right price. Every single investor I know has a price on their assets. On every asset they have, we've got a sale price, because we know we can buy it back at a better price at a different time in the marketplace. So there's, like, it is not new that real estate exists. It is new to you. It is a new idea to you. It's been around for centuries. There was something that Steven said about price that I think is very important to share. The only reason that we change prices is because we're dictating how many people we can put inside of a program. The amount of people you can process for a service, the amount of people that you can sell your product to. It is supply and demand. If I want more people in a program, I will reduce my price. If I want less people in a program, I will increase my price. If I want more people to buy a product that I'm selling, I will reduce the price. If I want less people to buy the product, I will increase the price. It's called a barrier to entry. Is this making sense? Price is just a way to adjust how many people you're putting into the program. The other thing that price is it dictates how much you can provide, how much of your time, how much quality. Because if a service costs money for you to produce, then you cannot give it away for less than it costs. And if it costs your time to produce it, you cannot give it away for less than your time costs. Some of us value our time at $12 an hour. So they're very cheap. They're very affordable. Some of us value our time at $100 an hour. They're also extremely cheap and affordable. There are some of us who value our times at $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour. I recently talked to a friend of mine who values his time at $6,000 an hour, and he spent 15 minutes on the call with me. So I clocked that as a $1,500 call that I had with him, and I realized I've been thinking small. So, how much do you value your time for? How much are you valuing the time you're spending with each person that you're communicating with? Do you run the meter? Are you thinking about it? Or because when you start thinking about it, you start realizing this person, oh my God, they'll actually never bring me a deal, or they're never going to do a deal with me, or they're never going to invest with me, or this person is actually complaining about real estate. They're not even making me feel good about real estate right now. So they're not even supportive. Like, why did I just invest? Because that's what that was. It was a poor investment. Invest the whatever multiple of your time is. Right? If you want to make $1 million and you're willing to work 40 hours a week, I think it's like, I don't know, your time must be worth like $500 an hour. I don't remember the math because I never believed in a 40-hour work week. I believe in whatever.
$100,000. If you want to make $100,000 a year average, 2,000 work hours, let's just say you got to make $50 an hour.
$50 an hour at 2,000 work hours. That's a good way to do the math. Break that across however many days you want to work, right?
Right.
That's 20 days. Oh, I see what you did. That's working 50 weeks, 5 days a week.
Yes,
got it.
Too much time, not enough money.
I'm with you, man. Like I don't like hourly rates. as far as like a consistency, because or I don't believe in working a set amount of hours a week, right? I work whatever it takes to get whatever job I decide to do that week done. Some weeks are less, some weeks are more. Naturally, being a driver, I pile on my weeks pretty hard. So sometimes I have sleepless nights, but but then these past 2 weeks, I have done whatever I wanted. I took the whole time off because Darina's gone. I said, she's gone. I'm not getting any work done. I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to do for 2023. And man, you wouldn't believe the plan that me and Ron have been putting together. It is sick. It's just absolutely just a crazy how much we've done to implement and what we're going to be implementing to automate the millionaire building process. Scary. Yeah, Sandra, 100%. Right? Like there's so many things coming down the pipe, and it's not big things. They're just minor changes. We're finally at the point with this mission. The Alchemist Station has been around for a year now. The platform, anyway, the digital platform. And we're just at the point where we're just making little tweaks. Like we don't have to change big things. We're not pulling big levers. It's just like little tweaks that allow the process to work much better. But they're big changes. They're small for us. And it's scary if you know your business might get to that point too. Little changes, little turns of the knob on your business can make massive changes. It's like the projectors we use at our live events. You make a little adjustment on the projector until it's blurry, and then it comes into focus. When you've got a business built, it's just something small. That's what these 52 wealth principles are. They're just little adjustments, little tweaks, little adjustments every week. So cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. I'll see you next week.
Oh,
For Mastermind members, I'll see you in 24 minutes. Get some food. See you.